Today, we're diving into Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson. Have you ever felt like the people around you just don't understand you? Or worse, that you're surrounded by fools? Communication can be challenging, and sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, some people just don't get it. But what if there's a way to understand others and yourself better? This book introduces four key personality types that explain why people behave the way they do. Whether it's someone who's naturally competitive, someone who thrives on attention, or a person who quietly observes from the background, Surrounded by Idiots will help you decode these behaviors and communicate more effectively. But where did this idea come from? Let me take you back to the story that inspired this book. When Thomas Erikson was 25 years old, he met Stura, a 60-year-old entrepreneur who had spent years building his business from the ground up. Before starting a new project at the company, Thomas had to interview Stura. During the interview, one of the first things Stura said was, "I'm surrounded by idiots." At first, Thomas thought it was a joke and laughed, but he soon realized Stura was dead serious. He even had a list of reasons why he believed the people around him were fools. To him, nearly everyone in his company was incompetent. Stura complained that the people in the B department were clueless, and the C department was even worse. He couldn't understand how these people managed to come to work every day. As Thomas listened, he sensed something deeper was going on. Sture passionately claimed that only a few of his employees were worth anything. So Thomas asked, "Well, who hired these idiots?" In that moment, both Thomas and Sture realized the weight of the question. Sture had hired most of these people himself. The deeper meaning was clear. Who's the real idiot here? After this meeting, Thomas was dismissed from the project, but the conversation lingered in his mind. Sture was a successful entrepreneur, respected for his skills, but he lacked empathy for his employees. Anyone he couldn't understand, he labeled as an idiot. This encounter led Thomas Erikson to explore why people see each other so differently. That exploration resulted in this book, which introduces the DISC model: dominance, induction, submission, and analytical, representing four primary behavior types, each associated with a color: red, yellow, green, and blue. These four types help explain why people communicate and behave in certain ways. Throughout this summary, we'll dive into each personality type, explore their traits, and learn how to use this understanding to navigate relationships, whether at work, with family, or in personal life. Stick around until the end to discover how mastering these insights can improve your communication and help you avoid unnecessary conflict. Let's get started. Red. Dominance. Have you ever met someone who treats everything like a competition? They always need to win, no matter the context. For example, Thomas once had a neighbor who noticed him growing vegetables in his garden. Many people complimented Thomas on his neat and fresh garden. However, his neighbor, being naturally competitive, decided to grow an even bigger garden, simply to outdo him. This competitive mindset is a classic trait of a red, or dominant personality type. In this chapter, you'll explore the habits associated with such individuals. You might even recognize these traits in a friend, family member, or maybe even yourself. The red personality type is often described as choleric, meaning they can be hot-tempered, irritable, or impulsive. Reds are bold, dynamic, and dominant, and they make no attempt to hide it. Just like Thomas's neighbor, people with this personality are highly focused and driven. They believe that if they put their minds to something, they will succeed and achieve their goals. Reds are also known for being direct and outspoken. They are not afraid to express their opinions, even if it means being brutally honest. They stand by the truth, no matter how uncomfortable or harsh it may be for others. Red. Dominance. Have you ever met someone who treats everything like a competition? They always need to win, no matter the context. For example, Thomas once had a neighbor who noticed him growing vegetables in his garden. Many people complimented Thomas on his neat and fresh garden. However, his neighbor, being naturally competitive, decided to grow an even bigger garden simply to outdo him. This competitive mindset is a classic trait of a red or dominant personality type. In this chapter, you'll explore the habits associated with such individuals. You might even recognize these traits in a friend, family member, or maybe even yourself. The red personality type is often described as choleric, meaning they can be hot-tempered, irritable, or impulsive. Reds are bold, dynamic, and dominant, and they make no attempt to hide it. Just like Thomas's neighbor, people with this personality are highly focused and driven. They believe that if they put their minds to something, they will succeed and achieve their goals. Reds are also known for being direct and outspoken. They are not afraid to express their opinions, even if it means being brutally honest. They stand by the truth no matter how uncomfortable or harsh it may be for others. Reds enjoy challenges and thrive on competition, regardless of who or what they're up against. Speed is another key characteristic of Reds. They enjoy fast-paced environments and tend to lose interest quickly if things slow down. If you notice someone getting bored during a meeting or conversation, seemingly disengaged, it's likely that person has a red personality. Reds are often impatient with slow discussions because they quickly grasp the key points and are already thinking ahead about the next step or future problems to solve. If they don't see potential in something, they won't waste their time on it. Reds are also known for being risk takers. They push themselves to the limit, often going right up to their breaking point, because they love testing their capabilities. They never do things half-heartedly. Reds are fearless and don't rely on others' opinions to guide them. It may seem like Reds think only about themselves, but that's not entirely true. While they act quickly, they are adaptable in their thinking. If they realize that their approach isn't working, they are open to listening to others' ideas. Reds are results-driven and like to stay in control of their lives. They dislike being stagnant and are known for their dynamism and flexibility. They get bored quickly, so if something hasn't changed for weeks, they won't hesitate to step in and make things happen. While constant change can stress many people out, Reds see change as a sign of good fortune. It gives them satisfaction to know that they are in control and have authority over their circumstances. The way Reds communicate exudes confidence and certainty, which makes people trust what they say. This sense of power and assurance is what sets Reds apart from other personality types. They live life fully and without fear. Reds know that if you're not willing to make sacrifices, you won't achieve anything significant. They always strive to give 100% and continuously test their limits to see how far they can go. Yellow, induction. If you've ever met someone who thrives on attention and social interaction, you might have encountered a yellow personality type. Yellows are outgoing, energetic, and love to be the center of attention. They bring enthusiasm into every situation, making them natural entertainers and storytellers. Imagine you're at a party, and there's that one person who is constantly telling stories, making jokes, and engaging with everyone. They have a contagious energy that draws people in. That's a classic yellow personality. Yellows are optimistic and see the world through a positive lens. They believe anything is possible, which makes them great motivators. However, this same trait can sometimes make them unrealistic. They often have big ideas but may struggle with execution. Since yellows are highly sociable, they excel at networking and making connections. They enjoy meeting new people and can strike up a conversation with just about anyone. This makes them excellent in professions that require charisma, such as sales, marketing, or entertainment. One of the downsides of the yellow personality is their tendency to be easily distracted. They might start a project with great enthusiasm but lose interest before finishing it. They crave excitement and may struggle with routine or repetitive tasks. Because yellows love attention, they can sometimes come across as self-centered. They enjoy being in the spotlight and may unintentionally dominate conversations. However, their charm and warmth make it hard to stay upset with them for long. Yellows are also highly emotional and expressive. They openly share their feelings, which makes them easy to read. They prefer environments that are lively and full of energy. A quiet, serious setting can make them feel restless. When communicating with a yellow, it's essential to match their enthusiasm and keep things engaging. They respond well to positive reinforcement and encouragement. However, if they feel unappreciated or ignored, they may lose motivation quickly. In summary, yellows bring fun and excitement wherever they go. They are spontaneous, creative, and full of ideas. If you want someone who can lift the mood and bring energy into a room, a yellow is the perfect person for the job. Green, submission. If you know someone who is calm, patient, and prefers to avoid conflict, they might have a green personality. Greens are the peacemakers. They value harmony and stability, making them reliable and easygoing. Unlike reds and yellows who crave action and attention, greens prefer a slower, more relaxed pace. They don't like to rush into decisions and take their time processing information. They are excellent listeners and are always there to support others. Greens are deeply empathetic and care about the well-being of those around them. They are loyal friends and dedicated employees who prioritize relationships over competition. One of the biggest strengths of greens is their ability to remain calm under pressure. While others might panic in stressful situations, greens stay composed and collected. This makes them great mediators in conflicts. However, their preference for peace can sometimes make them avoid confrontation, even when necessary. They may struggle to assert themselves and find it hard to say no. This can lead to them being taken advantage of. Greens dislike change and prefer stability. They feel most comfortable when things remain predictable and steady. Sudden disruptions can make them feel uneasy. When communicating with a green, it's essential to be patient and give them time to process their thoughts. They may not be as quick to respond as reds or yellows, but their insights are valuable. Overall, greens bring balance to any group. They are compassionate, dependable, and create a sense of calm in chaotic environments. Blue. Analytical. If you've met someone who is highly detail-oriented, precise, and values logic over emotion, they likely have a blue personality. Blues are the thinkers and analysts of the world. They rely on facts, data, and structure to make decisions. Blues are perfectionists who pay attention to every little detail. They take their time to analyze situations and ensure everything is done correctly. This makes them excellent in roles that require precision, such as engineering, finance, or research. Unlike yellows who love spontaneity, blues prefer planning and organization. They like to have everything structured and well thought out. They dislike chaos and uncertainty. One of the biggest strengths of blues is their ability to remain objective. They base their decisions on logic rather than emotions. This makes them reliable problem solvers who can see situations clearly. However, their focus on perfection can sometimes make them overly critical. They set high standards for themselves and others, which can lead to frustration if things don't go as planned. Blues are also more reserved and introverted compared to reds and yellows. They prefer deep, meaningful conversations over small talk. They may come across as distant, but they are simply processing information before speaking. When communicating with a blue, it's important to be clear, concise, and logical. They appreciate facts and dislike exaggeration or emotional appeals. In summary, blues are analytical, detail-oriented, and highly intelligent. They thrive in structured environments where they can apply logic and problem-solving skills. Conclusion. Understanding these 4 personality types, red, yellow, green, and blue, can transform the way you interact with others. Instead of feeling frustrated by differences, you can use this knowledge to improve communication and build stronger relationships. By recognizing which personality type someone falls into, you can adjust your approach to connect with them more effectively. Whether it's being more direct with a red, engaging with a yellow's enthusiasm, giving a green time to process, or presenting logical arguments to a blue, these small changes can make a big difference. At the end of the day, we are not truly surrounded by idiots. We are simply surrounded by people who see the world differently than we do. And by understanding these differences, we can create better connections, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and work together more harmoniously. So, which personality type do you relate to the most? Let me know in the comments.